Okay, what if I told you that you could turn a barren, empty desert into a thriving green oasis? It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? Well, it's not. Today, we're going to walk through a very practical, step-by-step guide for transforming some of our planet's most challenging environments. So here's the roadmap for how we're going to do this. First up, we need to understand our canvas, the parched planet. Then, we'll figure out how to power the whole thing, literally create water from thin air, build our oasis from the ground up, and finally, we'll look at the complete blueprint for sustainable tomorrow. All right, let's dive into section 1, the parched planet. I mean, before we can even think about building an oasis, we've got to really understand the canvas we're working with. So, this is it. This is our starting point. It's a world defined not by what it has, but by everything it lacks, right? No water, no vegetation, barely any life. That sun is just relentless, baking the earth until it literally cracks open. The challenge? I mean, it seems pretty much impossible, doesn't it? And it's not just an empty landscape. Life is actually trying to survive here, a constant, desperate search for the barest essentials. This picture, it really drives home how urgent this is. This isn't just some cool terraforming project. It's about trying to restore a fragile ecosystem that's right on the brink of collapse.
Okay, so we've established the challenge. It's huge. Now for the first major step in our guide, powering the solution. And the key here, as you're about to see, is to harness the very thing that's causing the problem in the first place.
Now, what's so cool about this is the total shift in thinking it represents. Look at this. On the left, you see the sun creating the desert. But on the right, that exact same sun is powering its transformation. The problem literally becomes the solution. I mean, what's the most abundant thing in the desert? Sunlight, and we are absolutely going to use it. So step 1 of our guide is actually incredibly simple. Just look up. By building these huge solar farms, we can capture what is essentially limitless clean energy. And this power, this becomes the engine for everything else we're about to do.
Okay, so with a power source secured, we can now tackle the biggest hurdle of all, the one thing a desert is famous for: not having water.
And this really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If there are no rivers, no lakes, no rain, where in the world does the water come from? Well, the answer is actually surprisingly simple. It comes from the air itself. And this machine right here, this brilliantly illustrates the solution. It's called an atmospheric water generator. Now, it sounds really complex, but it's this fascinating piece of tech that does exactly what it sounds like it does. It pulls water vapor straight out of the atmosphere. See, even the driest desert air has some humidity, and if you have enough energy, you can harvest it.
Let me break down how it works. It's just 3 simple steps. First, we use all that solar power we're generating to run fans that suck in huge volumes of air. Then the machine cools that air down to its dew point. That's the magic temperature where water vapor turns back into a liquid. And finally, we just collect the condensation. That's it. Pure, clean water created right there on site.
Okay, so let's recap. We have our 2 key ingredients, basically unlimited power and a sustainable source of water. Now the real fun begins. It is time to build. And we start small. This right here is our proof of concept. Just a tiny, self-contained little pocket of life powered by a few solar panels just to prove that the whole system works. From a single drop, you create a pond, and from that pond, life starts to flourish. All right, once we've proven the concept works, we scale up. That single little pond becomes a whole irrigation system, feeding these big, organized fields. We can now move from just surviving to actually thriving, growing food, creating large-scale agriculture in a place that was totally barren just a short time ago. And of course, where you have food and water, people can follow. So the next phase is building a community. And these aren't just any old houses. They are sustainable habitats. We're talking green roofs, integrated solar power. Everything is designed to work in perfect harmony with the new environment we're creating. And here it is, the grand vision fully realized. Think about it. We went from a single drop of water to this sprawling, futuristic city. It's a civilization that isn't just surviving in the desert. It's thriving because of it. It's got lush landscapes, clean energy, and a completely new way of living. So you might be wondering, how does all this hold together?
Let's zoom out for a second and look at the really elegant system that makes this whole city possible.
This right here, this is the blueprint. It's a perfect closed-loop system. Check it out. Solar energy powers absolutely everything. That energy lets us grow food and create water. The community that lives there, they recycle that water, and it goes right back into farming. Nothing is wasted. It's a completely circular, self-sustaining economy.
So let's just recap the core principles of this blueprint, because they're really important. 1. Turn the problem, the sun, into the solution. 2. Generate all your resources, power and water, right there on site. 3. Scale up systematically from a tiny oasis to a huge city. 4. Design the whole thing for a circular flow so nothing gets wasted. And finally, number 5, you integrate technology and nature so they work together seamlessly.
And look, the most crucial takeaway here is this. While this vision is incredibly ambitious, it is not a fantasy. It's all based on real principles and technologies that are emerging right now. This is a blueprint for a future that is totally within our grasp, a future we can actively choose to design and build.
Ultimately, it really just comes down to this choice. You've got the world as it is on the left, and the world as it could be on the right. The contrast couldn't be more stark, but the path from one to the other, well, that's the journey we've just walked through together.
So, we have the guide, we have the technology, we have the blueprint. The only real question left for us to answer is, which future are we going to build?